the electronic copy of the minutes. And this will require a motion and a second to approve.
This is Christine Robbins. Motion to approve the minutes.
Commissioner Dees, I second it.
All right, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, minutes are approved. So agenda item 3, there is a correction here for absences from October 22nd, 2020. It'll be replaced with November 19th. And it'll be by Commissioner Dr. Brian Stone and Commissioner Burt Rucker. And we do need a motion to approve the absences from November 19th.
This is Kathleen De La Garza. I motion to approve.
Commissioner Dees, I'll second that.
Okay, and we need a motion to approval with all the ayes.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's approval of absences from November 19th. For item 4, we do have public comment for any issues not related to anything on our agenda. I do not believe we have any public comment.
No.
Okay, great. So moving on to agenda item 5, we do have our nominations and elections for the offices of Landmark Commission. It'll be our chair and vice chair. And we do want to start with the chair for Landmark. So this will require a motion and a second and a vote from Landmark Commission. It will require 5 members to approve the chair and the vice chair. So are there any motions of recommendation?
Commissioner Dees, I make a motion to nominate Dr. Robin for chair, if she'll accept.
This is Christine Robbins. Thank you for the nomination, Randy. Can I clarify, will our meetings continue to be held in a virtual format for the foreseeable future?
Yes, that is confirmed for the foreseeable future that we will undergo COVID-19 protocols.
Thank you. And then the second consideration is I term off at the end of this year. So I don't know whether the commission would rather have a chair that has more longevity. I only have a few months left on the commission. I'm happy to do it for that time, but I don't know if you want somebody who will be around a little bit longer than that.
We're still. Needs a second.
Dr. Robin, I think you and I are about the same term limit length, and I think we'd be glad to have you for as long as you want to be there. For as long as you can be there, we'll jump that fence when we get there.
I would second that. This is Kathleen.
Do we have a second?
So we have a second. So we will now have a vote for Commissioner Robbins as chair of Landmark Commission.
We have 7, so it's simple. It's a simple majority.
Do you want to call the vote?
Sure. I'll call a vote, roll call vote. Okay, Christine Robbins?
Aye.
Commissioner Dees?
Aye.
Commissioner De La Garza?
Aye.
Fontenot? Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Mendez?
Aye.
Commissioner Wanzer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
This is Ira Freeman. I don't think I was on the roll call, but I'm aye as well.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Freeman. And Chair Robbins, the meeting, I will now turn over to you, and you can conduct the election of vice chair.
Are there any nominations for vice chair?
This is Kathleen De La Garza. I think, I don't know how Randy feels about it, but I would make a motion for him to serve as vice chair.
Is there a second of the nomination?
This is Commissioner Fontenot. I second the nomination.
Okay, I will do another roll call vote. Chairman Robbins?
Aye.
Commissioner Dees?
Aye.
Commissioner Freeman?
Aye.
Commissioner De La Garza?
Aye.
Commissioner Fontenot? Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Mendez?
Aye.
And Commissioner Wanzer?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Is there an annual preservation awards update?
Yes, there is. So for agenda item 6, we just have an update for our 2021 preservation awards. We are still accepting nominations. Nominations are going to be for a person or organization. And we also have nominations available for, give me 1 second to get to my notes, a building or property. And so far, staff has received no nominations for the 2021 Annual Preservation Awards. We do encourage the commissioners themselves to please email staff if you have any recommendations. For those commissioners that are new, this is a 3rd annual, I believe, or is it? Yeah, 3rd annual Preservation Awards. And this is really intended to recognize either a building or property that has been using the Secretary of Interior standards for treatment of historic properties in their rehabilitation and their use of a commercial or residential space. And then for architects or organizations that have had a lasting impact or an immediate impact on preservation here in Corpus Christi. Staff has discussed, and we do have 2 potential nominations from staff recommendations. And we were discussing about the Nueces Brewery in downtown Corpus Christi for adaptive reuse. And then we also do have our Main Street program and our downtown management district, which is run by Alyssa Barea. And that's our nomination for a person or organization. But this will be open until March 31st for the public and commissioners and any citizens to nominate. So are there any questions on our preservation awards?
We are renoticing, right? We're advertising.
Yes. And just the point is that we are sending out a press release, and then we will also be putting social media posts for the nominations for preservation awards. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that update. Is there a historic preservation officer's report?
Good evening. This is Nina Nixon Mendez, Assistant Director and Historic Preservation Officer, and certainly want to welcome all of our new members of the Landmark Commission. We are quite excited as we've had a lot of preservation activities going on in the last couple of months. First of all, for the new members, we initiated work to update our historic preservation plan in September of 2020. We held our first public meeting in November, and so upcoming in March will be our second public meeting on the historic preservation plan, where our consultant will present some additional information related to stakeholder input and our community survey. And that will be held on the same date as the Landmark Commission meets. What we did at for the November meeting, we had the Landmark Commission meeting at 4:30 and the public meeting at 6. What I'd like to recommend for discussion is that if there is not a case for consideration during the Landmark Commission meeting, would it be possible to move the Landmark Commission meeting to the 6 o'clock timeframe? What we'd like to do maybe is send out an email to you and get responses from the different commissioners related to their schedules, and then we can look at those and send out communications at that time. So I mean, you're welcome to discuss if that would be problematic this evening, or certainly we'll be sending out an email and you can respond to that email as well. But we do want to keep the public meeting at 6 o'clock. So that we can reach, the most number of people, being sort of an after hours, although I know some of our commissioners probably work during that time. But that's one thing I wanted to mention to the commissioners and to see if there's any input related to that.
Commissioner Dees, I think it's a great idea.
All right, so what we'll go ahead and do, if there's no objections, we'll go ahead and send out an email on this. And then if you could just, kindly respond, and then we can, make a decision at that time. Now, if we do have a landmark case for consideration, then we would go ahead and start at the 4:30 time. All right, thank you. Secondly, we had an opportunity, both Craig and I had an opportunity to attend the Real Places Conference with the Texas Historical Commission, and there was a special section on certified local government. It was essentially, sort of the roles and responsibilities of certified local government organizations, which we are, right? And there was a lot of information related to tax credit projects and just a whole host of really terrific information that was imparted. And of course, this was a virtual conference sponsored by the Texas Historical Commission. And Commissioner Fontenot also participated. So that was one of our CLG requirements, that at least one of our commissioners participates in training. So we get to check that box, and thank you, Commissioner, for your participation in that event. The other really great thing that's happening is a Texas Preservation Network has been formed among many of the medium and larger sized cities in Texas. And we're going to be meeting once a month using Microsoft Teams. And it's just a really exciting time for cities to share what they're doing, and particularly now, since we have the state legislature in session, and you never know what kind of legislation is going to be coming down the pike at you, right? So it gives us an opportunity as leaders in preservation across the state to formulate some opinions if we feel that bills should be supported or opposed. And so I think this is going to be very helpful during this year, because there are always a slew of bills that deal with historic preservation, that deal with building materials, you name it. And so I think this is going to be quite helpful. And so, as I said, we'll be meeting once a month or every couple of weeks as the legislature term closes. Let's see, I'm also very pleased to report that the City Council approved the amendments to the Unified Development Code. And of course, the greatest impact, yes, I see many of you clapping and cheering and jumping for joy. The greatest impact, of course, to our amendments that the Landmark Commission sponsored is the extending that stay to 365 days. So that's huge accomplishment. And I do, of course, there were other amendments as well, but that's the big one. And I do congratulate the Landmark Commission for moving forward with recommending those amendments and that going to fruition at City Council. Again, welcome all you new commissioners, and we have a great treat for you. In March, we're going to be hosting an orientation. And the orientation will provide you sort of an outline of the roles and responsibilities of being a landmark commissioner. It'll sort of take you through a little in-depth analysis of the Unified Development Code and how we govern historic preservation through our Unified Development Code. And so staff, mainly Craig, will be contacting you to try to schedule that with y'all. And again, we're just so excited to have all these wonderful new members. And that I think that covers it. Was there anything else I needed to mention, Craig?
No, ma'am.
All right. So that concludes my report this evening.
May I ask, before we move on to future agenda items, would it be permissible if we take a moment to introduce ourselves?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. My name, for those I haven't met, my name is Christine Reiser Robbins. I am a historical archaeologist by training. As referenced just a little bit ago, I've been on the Landmark Commission for a while now. I'm getting close to terming off at the end. But I really look forward to talking with you all and meeting with you around kind of common interest in historic preservation. Would anybody else like to introduce themselves?
Sure, I'm Vice Chair Randy Dees. I'm in the middle of 2 terms, and I'll term out at the end of the year as well. Sorry, Ira. And I've actually talked to Miss Wilson last week. Very, very nice lady. She reached out to me to gain some information as far as things like the UDC and CLG, things that will bring up speed. So I'm really glad to see that we're doing the orientation next month. I want everybody to come up to speed together and just welcome new members. If you like history, now I'm owned a tow truck company here in Corpus for 47 years. And as you can see behind me, I actually do that for a living. I'm a musician, and that's what I do now. So it's kind of a fun time in my life. It's like a second childhood all over again. But anyway, welcome to the commission, and we sure look forward to all of you participating and becoming good, strong members, because we certainly need you.
Hey Randy, this is Armando. We should jam sometime. I play the piano.
You're on, sir. You're on. I can play just about anything you want to play.
Well, with that said, I'd like to introduce myself again. My name's Armando Mendez. I was actually a part of the Landmark Commission back in 2012 and 2013. It was a little while ago. I was also vice chairman for the Oil and Gas Advisory Committee until, unfortunately, last year they cut the committee. So we were all relieved of our duties back then, and I decided to get back into the organizations again. So I was able to get on with you guys once again and serve for the Landmark. So it's a great opportunity to be back on the board again, and I'm going to try to do my best on that. With that, also I own actually a partner with a couple of other guys, and we run a rental and specialized tools and equipment store here in Corpus Christi. And we support local oil and gas, pipeline, refineries type services on that end. And then I also co-own a maintenance and janitorial cleaning services commercial for some of the refineries as well. So I'm always got my hands busy. We're always busy on that end. And we actually were just appointed to the ABC Builders and Contractors Association yesterday. So I was out there speaking with the company on that as well. But like I said, it's great to be back on one of the commissions, and I appreciate the opportunity you guys give.
Yes, hi, can you hear me? Yes, my name is Rosalind Wanzer, and next month I will have my video. I had a little mishap happen. It's actually on there, but I logged in again. So, but I'm a real estate agent for 13 years with 361 Realty, and I'm very happy to serve on the Landmark Commission.
Ira Freeman, I'm an architect with Freeman Schrader Architects and also a professor of architectural history at Del Mar.
Hi, I'm Kathleen De La Garza, and I'm an academic advisor at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I have my bachelor's in historic preservation, and this is my second term.
Great.
Hi everyone, my name's Jen Brown. I'm a history professor at A&M Corpus Christi, and this is my first time on the Landmark Commission. I'm very happy to be here.
Hello, my name is Madeline Fontenot. I am the education coordinator at the USS Lexington Museum. I also previously worked at the Corpus Christi Museum of Science and History, and I am excited to be in my second year my first term, but second year on the Landmarks Commission.
Hey.
Any other introductions?
Staff here that we'd like to introduce. Again, I'm Nina Nixon-Mendez, Historic Preservation Officer. Great.
I'm Craig Garrison, City Planner.
Jacqueline Garza, the Agenda Coordinator.
And I'm Andrew Demas, the Land Development Administrator, also called TS Administrator, Development Services.
And our attorney, I think, is online.
Yes, Buck Bryce, City Legal.
Thank you all very much. It's very nice to meet our new members, and we look forward to our collaborations on the Landmark Commission. Are there any future agenda items to set?
So staff does have an orientation to prepare for. We were discussing that since the March meeting is going to be used for our preservation plan outreach, if we don't have any agenda items, we can do an orientation the same day. We can find a time to schedule that. We could also do a separate day for our orientation. This will be socially distanced over WebEx. And then also staff is prepared to deliver orientation kind of documents to our commissioners and possibly not have to be in the same place at the same time is something that we discussed as well. So it's up to the commission to decide if they want to have a set time and date on WebEx, or if we can deliver all of our materials and then be open for any questions as you're reading through them.
And again, the orientation is for new members, but if regular members that have served want to join, we would need to know, because then we would need to post it as a meeting because we could potentially have a quorum. So we'll be contacting everyone to see who would want to participate in the orientation.
There you go.
With respect to other agenda items, of course, we discussed March. In April, typically we would review the nominations for the preservation awards. And in the past, we had designated May for the month to announce the awards. And That's also Historic Preservation Month. So those are, items that could be considered as well.
This is Christine Robbins. For the future, not for March, but for April or May, would it be possible to set as a future agenda item an update on Heritage Park, including an update on the Steamboat House and some of the ongoing considerations there?
Yes, we could get with the Parks Department and see if they have an update that we could present.
Thank you.
Commissioner Dees, also for that same meeting in April, maybe we can get an update from the Friends of the Old Bayview Cemetery, see where that's at. And I also in April want to look toward maybe doing a survey of the new Bayview Cemetery, which is almost in the path of the New Harbor Bridge. We don't talk about it much, but I've noticed on social media some pictures of some disrepair over there as well, and I'd like to at least take a look, see if maybe the Friends of the Old Bayview want to help us with that. Maybe they we'll get the Parks Department involved anyway to see if we can get it cleaned up and maybe figure out what we're going to do as far as a fence or some kind of preservation.
Sure, staff can reach out to Friends of the Old Bayview and also articulate that we're interested in the new Bayview Cemetery. See if we can get them to come to the Landmark Commission meeting in April or May.
Thank you very much.
Do any other commissioners have future agenda items they'd like to include? Okay, any further comments or questions or business? Okay, city staff, anything further that you would like us to consider?
No, not at this time.
Yeah, thank you, new members, for your service.
All right, this is Christine Robbins. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Vice Chair Dees, you're getting it from me.
Second.
All right, the meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, meeting adjourned. Thank you all very much. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Bye.